Hi, I'm Karam Levi with Hella Happy, and here's 8 minutes of tips or information about happiness and how you can explore that or work on that yourself. This being my first video, please bear with me. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking a little risk on me here. Happiness, the way I'd like to share it with you, consider it. Factually, it's something you can build up over time. You can build it up over a month. You can build it up over a quarter, like 3 months. And I feel the right frame to look at happiness is that it's a hobby. There's so many hobbies that I've participated in: motorcycling, jet skiing, bodyboarding, surfing, cycling, where I put in vast periods of time, like hard work. And I hoped over time I would, it would be super exciting, super fun, super rad, that kind of thing. And while it was exciting, there was a lot of boringness to it, and a lot of investment, and a lot of, you get fatigued. You get exercise, it's a good thing. You also get fatigued, and a lot of money and time and a lot of investment. Unless it's becoming a profession, it may be not the best return on investment. So when I share with you the idea of happiness as a hobby, consider if that could be true for you. Some of the greatest psychological happiness scientists are talking about happiness as a skill. The Dalai Lama speaks of happiness as a skill. And I'd like to say, of course, it sounds great, but how exciting or how interesting is that to you? Could you possibly frame it as the next hobby you could be interested in? You may have learned how to paint or sing, do karaoke or music or other, play with swords or cool stuff. You may really take a great interest in tech, even if you're not like making big money on tech. You like tech, you like gadgets, you like information and data through hardware. So all those things, I'm sure, are intriguing and interesting to you. But how much joy, how much happiness have you gotten from them? I would say that when I was younger, I would say I got a lot of joy and happiness from those things, because I was completely all in. I didn't have a lot of other choices, because that was the choice I made, and I became greatly invested in it. But as I've grown older and done a handful of different hobbies, I've also lived in Asia for a couple of years, and I thought, who knows, maybe I've lived there my whole life. We think crazy sometimes. And that's cool. If I didn't think like that, I probably wouldn't have made it out there for 2 years. So with that experience, I look back and regardless if you're older, younger, or around my age, and I'll let you guess what that is, but at least for now, looking at happiness as a hobby would be a very interesting idea, because currently I ride motorcycles. I have a Harley Davidson 114 Fat Bob. It's a fun bike, super fun. But at the same time, I don't ride it every day. But I'm in my body every day, right? I wake up every day, I go to bed every day, and I have an opinion of myself and my day every day. And in general, it's not the greatest self-opinion. And over time, we can work on it and we can present in a particular kind of way, but it doesn't always mean that's how we feel when we're alone with ourselves. And that can vary, right? So when we look at happiness as a hobby, you can literally record and track it. Some people are phenomenal at that. I've got the ADHD and other things like that, so I'm not so great at that. I do some journaling, and they say that journaling, especially if you have like CPTSD, some kind of like significant built-in stresses, it's extremely helpful. And even in as short as 4 days, they're able to see a change in your immune system, like biological health markers. So that's pretty cool. A quick note about a happiness improvement. There's health tools, fitness tools. You can take whey protein. You can take all kinds of like really cool things, right? And they'll give you like a 3% improvement or like a 10% improvement over baseline. So if you could lift 100 pounds and now you're taking a particular supplement, it's like, creatine that has a particular improvement. I don't remember what that is off the top of my head, but let's just be really wild and call it 10% improvement. So if you're able to lift 100 pounds Well, now you can lift 110. If you could do an hour run, now you can, run for an hour and whatever, 10 minutes plus against 6 for 60, whatever. If you could run for 100 minutes, you can run for 110 now. That's cool. But if you're not tracking things very carefully, you'll get the benefit, you won't realize it. Because 10% doesn't seem a lot. If you're investing, if you got 10% back on an investment, you'd feel very happy about that. And if that compounded in 10, 20 years, you'd be very, very wealthy with like no work. That'd be super cool. 10% is profound. But the thing about it is you may not recognize it in yourself, which is why looking at happiness as a hobby and tracking it and knowing when I go to a particular store, which I only go to every 2 months, I know I have a certain feeling about my life because I only go there every once in a while, and you can use certain events in your life almost like a tracker. Like, I when's the last time I went and did this shopping thing I only do every 3 months? Well, I hoped in the last 3 months my life would have improved more, but I feel like I'm just kind of going around in circles because you know what? I'm doing the 3-month shopping trip again, or whatever the case is, a travel trip, whatever it is, where you almost kind of like mark your time. You may not be super aware that you do it, but we all kind of do that a little. And you can actually do a like an anecdotal kind of self-recording to be like, hey, I go to Trader Joe's like every 2 weeks and I take the staircase. It's like 4 flights of stairs. And that's where I do it. I'm like, hey, how's my health feel? I'm walking 4 flights of stairs with 2 bags of groceries. Am I super huffing and puffing, or is my breath kind of more okay? Like I do self-defense. What happens if I made it to the top of the stairs, 4 flights, and a self-defense experience happened? How manageable would that be? Because my car is right outside the door, and sometimes there's crime in certain areas, certain parking lots and stuff like that. How capable would I be? That's a fun personal self game I do to help track my fitness. But we can do things like that for our happiness level. So whether you use an Excel spreadsheet or you use like a notebook, and you once a month you look back and survey over things, even once a week, there could be a way for you to track it so you could appreciate your benefits over time. And a small change over time makes a fantastic difference. So hey, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. This is Karam Levi, and this has been 8 minutes with Hella Happy, and just getting down to the basics of working on your happiness as a hobby. Thanks for listening.